This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Everything we thought was real is a lie.
Everything is a lie. Nothing is real.
We need some truth.
Where can we find the truth? Over here.
The quest for truth is an adventurous one if approached in that fashion. Trials and tribulations await. Walls that social normality had placed before you block the light of realism from shining through. The tedious process of chipping away at the walls lets streams of light peek through. A light so bright it singes the skin to the degree one has to reconstruct the wall to block it. In short, you can't handle the truth alone. But through the networking of information, together we can rise above the wall before you, filtering the light to a tolerable level.
What's up, brothers and sisters? Truth is in the adornings of the 10-4 hat. Because we don't believe in magic bullets or buildings that fall like that, man. It is Thursday, September 15th, 2016, man. And as always, I want to give a big shout out to all the awesome cats joining us in the Rookie Cave. What's going on, guys? At truthfrequencyradio.com/chat. Nothing but love for you guys and girls out there and everyone else listening on the FM frequencies at 90.7. in Denver, Colorado, 97.3 in Eugene, Oregon, all around the world. Anybody out there, no matter what dimension you are in, whether you lizard, aliens, whatever. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Kenneth Webb, a.k.a. Change the Channel, along with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Scott Lopez. What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, it just gets crazier. I can't state it enough. It just, wow. Every time I'm always just, I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore.
Week after week after week, the madness, it never ends. But I'm tell you what, tonight joining us is a really good friend, a brother in arms. I mean, the mean dream Photoshop machine, our brother from another mother, Bill Demarest. How's it going, brother?
I am just in awe that I am actually talking to one of my greatest admirers. No, one of my greatest mentors. How you doing, Ken?
Oh, I'm doing good tonight, man. And man, what we got to do tonight, right? First off. Bill, what I wanted to tell you was that, while I've got you here, man, you make so many people's day with your memes. I mean, personally, I collect them. I'll tell you when I'm collecting them. I mean, but there's so much more to the story here. Now, I don't know. We don't know. Me and Scott don't know the whole story. But so, what I want to do is while we have you here, is I want to dive into events in your life. What really, what got you started? What started you on your quest for truth? Like the first instance, something that really keeps your brain to go like, man, there's something going on in the world. And there's something that's not off, and it kind of led you. Do you have one of those moments that you can pinpoint?
Most certainly so. And I wanted to say hello to Scott. What a giant of a man. I would have to say that it was, without a doubt, Loose Change, because I was just one of those people that watched, saw, and accepted till Loose Change came along, and then it was Alex Jones, and then you were the one that put up the Obama deception, and from then on, I was one of your greatest admirers. Seriously.
Right on. Well, Let me ask you this, because this is always something that crosses my mind with people I haven't had on the show. And what we wonder a lot of times, is there any event or discovery, that really threw you for a loop, that really gave you that boost? I mean, a lot of people, when they start out, it's like these little tiny things that happen. Some people are just full-fledged thrown into the reality kind of things. But was there anything like a discovery or whether it was a video that you saw, whether it was like a declassified government document of some sort that you came across, but, something that threw you for a loop, that just blew your mind to the degree that you knew without a shadow of a doubt that the world around you was nothing like you had once thought?
I can pinpoint it. I was playing on a poker table at Poker Stars, and I had the icon for the earthcode.com, my book. And this gentleman contacted me through my website that he was on the poker table with me, and he read the first 2 chapters of my book. And he was the one that turned me on to light workers and Divine Cosmos, David Wilcox. And that's when I began to realize that this is not a 3D world, that there are other realms, that I did have a purpose in life as a light worker. And then I find out that, light workers, some people interpret as those carrying the light on Satan's side. But I came into the reality that the world was not what I grew up to know it as. And all these myths and theories, and so many of them were true. And as I looked further, that's when I found out that history, from the day they told me that we were cavemen and crawled out of the caves, I started looking, and I started looking, and I started looking. And that's when I found out that my whole life has been a lie up until I started searching for the truth, which was shortly after I started my first YouTube channel, 9/11/2007. And it about kicked my butt.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there like that. So when is the first time that you did something like in activism, whether it was a meme or you took to the street or you even just talked to somebody? What was the first time that you like metaphorically took to the street and did something about these things you were learning?
Well, the street was basically roommates and people that lived around me in my neighborhood, and it was like beating my head against the wall. Gentlemen were trying to tell me that you don't understand energy. You ever see them karate guys punch the top brick and the bottom brick breaks? Oh my God! I knew that I was in for a how do you put it? I was in for a tough haul, just convincing anybody of reality at all. It really was tough in the beginning. Activism, I've never been out there protesting, but I did start my YouTube channel as a photoshopping, artsy type thing. And then I hooked up.
That's protesting right there, brother. Memes, anything you put out there is a form of protest to show and I'm telling you, you do it good, brother. Really do, man. Like I said, you put a smile on my face every time I see your work. I'm like, oh yeah. It could be a crappy day. Honestly, Bill, it could be a crappy day. I come in and I sit down, and then you throw up some of your work, and I'm like, and I'll smile like, yeah, give me that juice to pull me back into the moment, So yeah, hats off.
I am so touched. They say that, goosebumps are chi. And I've never had so much chi flowing through my body as I have for the past 4 weeks. As I said, I started off with artsy stuff, and I started doing music videos for a singer in England called Jan Christie. But when I started seeing videos that woke me up, I started putting them on my channels. And then YouTube kept taking them away, and I kept building new ones, and they kept taking them away, and I kept building new ones. And right now I have 5 channels, and my major channel has 18,000, almost 19,000 subscribers and near 10 million views. And that completely blows me away. My most proud video, though, is a hit piece I did on Hillary called Hillary, the True Beast. Oh, the True Beast that Hillary is. I have over 10 million. I have over 2 million views on that one video.
Well, let the listeners, Bill, let them know your YouTube channel. What is your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is Mr. Purple Tie. The reason for that strange name, which I've been accused of being, what's the word, a bad guy, is because I used the word purple. That was a backup channel after I lost 2 channels. And the reason it was Mr. Purple Tie is that was my animated channel that I only put animated cartoons on, and my favorite character was Mr. Purple Tie. I also have Fall of Media, Mr. Earth Code, my William Demarest channel, and I know there's one, Vexstar. Vexstar is my actual, well, it's who I actually am. Bill Demarest is actually an alter ego of Vexstar. That's a long, involved story, and we can get into that later. But yeah, I started ripping off other people's work, and then I started mixing my own. And the ones I am most proud of are the praise and pats on the back and the thank yous I get from Mr. Brooks Agnew. Now, this man had like 185 IQ at the age of 13. There isn't anything he can't fly and or drive. Started an electric truck company. And he's telling me I made him famous with YouTube. So I chuckle a bit, but oh,
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't think it's really biting. I think it's you find something interesting enough to share with others that might not see it on their channel, kind of thing. That's why when back in the day when I got into YouTube, I did that with Alex Jones's stuff, and you see how those hits have got, and I was just sharing the information basically. And a lot of people do it. And I think that's what we have to do. We have to share really good stuff, information, because that's what the network is about. Networking information. And that's what we have to do amongst ourselves. And, that's the cool thing about TFR. Like we were talking before the show, Bill, about TFR being, a really good outlet for us to be able to share information. I mean, even, Facebook sucks, but we can share information. And I like it when it's done in a creative style. I like the stereotypical style, the documentary style. I like the comedy. I like music. I like it because it reaches so many different people in so many different ways. But the Photoshop stuff, the memes, that reaches everybody. That's a really good balanced platform to be able to share stuff. But, I always have to ask this question too, because before we get too far into those things is, back then when you came around and you started doing things, you started getting active. I mean, were your peers and family members supportive? I mean, I'm sure it's got to be some, balance there. Some didn't like it, some didn't. Or did they just think you were crazy? Or I'm sure you had the ones that think you're crazy, and then some that were supportive. Or, it could go either way. So, what happened with you?
I gotta laugh because I had been estranged from my family basically since I was 21. They wanted me on psychotropic drugs. My brother would not help me 4 years ago when I was desperate and destitute in the streets, yada, yada, yada. He would not help me unless I were under a doctor's care. So basically, my family doesn't even come into the picture. I told my brother, he's got a lovely house up in Sebring, and I asked him, do you have silver? Do you have gold? Do you have food stores? This was 5 years ago on a Memorial Day weekend. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And, 5 years later, it sounded crazy back then, but he's got enough property for a garden. He should have gold. He should have silver. And as I said, he looked at me like I was crazy, and basically I cut all ties with my family. But when it comes to friends, I love bringing up a small subject just to see if they know where I'm coming from. And I've run into a few people that are pretty much awake. I've run into some people that just, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm a conspiracy researcher. One of the gentlemen at work, he says to me, I hear you're into conspiracies. How far back do your conspiracies go? I went back to the Liberty. I went back to the Gulf of Tonkin. And I brought him up to chemtrails. And he was interested. I also started a conversation with a Jamaican gentleman who's a truck driver at work. And we sat there and we back and forth. And it basically wasn't anything that I knew that he didn't know, which blew my mind. And Margaret, the woman that was on Sean Caron's show with me, she's been a YouTube friend for about 4 or 5 years. Well, she touched me with a video. I messaged her. She gave me her phone number. I was on the phone with her for 2 hours, and it blew me away. Here's a woman, she's about my age, which is old. And there was nothing that she didn't know. There was nothing that I didn't know. And I got to tell you something funny. For this show, I had one of the guys at work. He says to me, well, what do you know, Bill? I says, well, what would you like to know? He asked me about the Ark. He asked me about what did they serve at the Last Supper. He asked me about chemtrail. He was testing me. And I'm standing there doing my job, and I'm just rattling off everything I know.
Just waiting for you to slip up.
No, he was really interested. This was what was really good with this conversation. No, he sat back in amazement, because I literally work with 100 guys that are down and out. They're trying to get their lives together, as I was 4 years ago, and they all. My job would not be as wonderful as it is if every morning so many of these guys are just so happy to see me, and I'm happy to see them. But, there are just so many people that I could not even start a conversation with. Look up, see chemtrails? What's that? Oh, yeah, okay, see ya. Yeah, you've been there. You've done that.
Oh, yeah. But, hey, any suggestions for people out there, I mean, because you've been doing it for a while. I mean, putting the information out there, but there's a lot of people out there who, listen to, just like we all were in the beginning, we're hearing information and we wanted to do something about it. So, I mean, is there any advice or suggestions for people out there wanting to get involved in, in the alternative media or any of those types of activism that give them words of inspiration,
Start a YouTube channel for one. Practice, play with a video editor. There are enough free ones. When it comes to talking to people face to face, you start off small with something that everybody seems to know, and then you find out whether or not they're aware, or you've got to find out if they're just going about their day-to-day life and unaware of everything and anything. It's simple conversations to start there. For activism, my last video, which was only the second one I ever did live, because I would freeze up, so I actually wrote scripts and I read them. And the thing is, with a video editor, I can read the same thing over 2 or 3 times if it didn't sound right the first time. Then I'll go through the video editor and I will choose the best. I don't know, it could be 5 words or it could be half a sentence. And the one that I did on the Earth Code, which is still a private link, which I'm going to talk about on Kev's show on the 29th, I listened to it. And I am blown away. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I sound so good to myself, and so I am blown away by my own work. Excuse me, I have to put my arm back in the socket.
So, you know what, Bill? What everybody is always was messaging about, even when I put it out on Facebook, and I put out the advertisement on Facebook, you're going to be on the show, and they was all said, and I seen it in the chat room at truefrequency.com/chat. They were asking, how did you get into Photoshop? When did you, I remember I started working with Photoshop back when it was 2.0, and it was like a self-taught study at a community college and stuff. Right. I mean, how long have you been? Because you pretty daggone good, man. It does. It catches me off the guard all the time. Like, you seen him, Scotty, right? I mean, that stuff is off the chain.
I used to be the Photoshop assassin with TFR, but now Bill has, I think he has ascended to the throne of that.
Okay. I had a simple XP photoshopping program, which I wish I had back, because I could do things on that thing I can't do now without a lot of extra work. As I said, I started a YouTube channel. I've started with Photoshopping. I started just playing with Photoshopping. So I went and I looked for a slideshow format that I could speed them up so I could go from one picture to another, and so it would move. And I came across Photo Story 3, which does not work with Windows 8, but it does work with Windows 10. And it allows you to start at any spot on a specific picture and move the camera and expand anywhere you want on one picture. Then using Windows Movie Maker, the older one, you can't blend one clip over another with the new one. They seem to keep improving, but they take details away. So I went with a Sony Vegas 11, which is my favorite. But I started making my pictures move, and it blew me away what I was doing. So I put music to it, and I started a YouTube channel. And as I said, I put up artsy Photoshop, and I found out I wasn't getting any hits. So, and like I said, but the thing is, I didn't really get good until I was in the chat room with Kev's show. And the most difficult and the most time-consuming one I did up until that date was that mosquito with Hillary's head on it, because the detail, the legs, the just cutting it out a little piece at a time, a little piece at a time, a little piece at a time. Took a lot of time to do that one. Then I found out what I do is you take a picture, you blow it up 400, 500 times big, you take the eraser and you erase what you want. So it comes to me like I see that little green man with the gentleman laying on the ground, and I said, got to put Kev's head on that. That's beautiful. And Kev as the ice cream man, I saw this ice cream man, and I remember
that was awesome. Oh my God.
That was face.
Good. I just saw that today. That's the first time I seen the ice cream man. And I was going over there. I was like, does he have any pictures of him that I can use on the fly? I was like, he doesn't have any pictures of him. It's all the dark, the silhouetted, and the dark stuff. But then there goes old Kev, and it looks good. I mean, down to the pixels, it's a really good piece. And I've done photo manipulation for as far as taking people and different pictures and putting them together in one picture because, they were smiling or changed heads on people, and a lot of photo restoration work over the last 20-some years. And I'm telling you, that was just perfect. I laughed and laughed. Oh, that one was good.
But it's in the eye of the beholder, because I saw that, and I said, oh, that picture of Kev's face holding an ice cream cone in my mind, I said, perfect. And the secret is you cut out the face, not all of it. And then what you do is you put the head down, and then you layer the other one over it. And the layer on top, you can erase the edges around it. And I've been doing this. I've gotten better. I mean, the past 4 months, I'm quicker now. I'm faster. Like when Kev said, he said the Three Amigos, and that was the Three Stooges. I got the Three Stooges. Somebody, maybe Lucky, said, Bill, you got to do a Photoshop. I got the Three Stooges. I cut out the faces. I have a folder. It's called characters. I have the heads already. And some heads just aren't turned to right angles. So I'll work a good long time on them, and they just won't be ready.
I have a head folder too, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, we all do. See, that's that Photoshop geek stuff, man. We collect body parts, heads, ears, everything.
One of my best was Popeye dancing. I mean, I took one picture, I cut it up, I stretched it, I moved it back and forth. That's really, and then the GIF. Oh, the GIFs, I bought one of those for $19, and they just, what I can do with that, I mean, I will start with anywhere from 200 frames to 1,100 frames, and I will take out the unnecessary frames for the chat room, which is about a max of 60. Perfect is around 50. And my favorites are the, my persona, They Live. When he sees the man with his glasses on and he shoots the invisible viewing camera, when he shoots that, Scotty, thank you. I mean, I know people enjoyed my work, but I have to honestly thank you that I wasn't doing it for gratitude or applause. I mean, I just wanted to be part of the family, and I shared.
It definitely brings it brings a little special something to the chat room. I mean, it really kind of adds an extra flair there that
and
you
the
just
Facebook
don't see.
and the Facebook, exactly, and everywhere, and it puts smiles on people's faces and it educates them, and because you're doing those things, and then you're doing other things, and you are progressing, and you're going along, and you're continuing the fight, brother. And I mean, seriously, my hat's off to you, because I love to see that with everybody over here on True Frequency and around that I see that's, doing something, anything, even just making a daggone post, saying their opinion and how they see things. I always appreciate that. And I think that's how they got to do it out there. Anyhow, we're getting ready to go to break. When we get back, we will continue. And man, it's going to be all the hinges. Woo, man. Oh, man. It's absolutely off the hinges night here on The Quest for Truth. Kenneth Webb, a.k.a. Change the Channel, along with my cohort, the co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty Lopez, and our special guest, Bill, the man, Emerist. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be off the chain. But what we got to flip to right now, brothers, is the current state of events. Now, really, now, I want to go around to both of you guys where we are today. What we're seeing in the mainstream media, what's going on in the world, what is the pulse line of the world in your guys' eyes?
Go ahead, Bill.
I think they are just seeing how insane they can be, telling us. They just want to see how many people go about their day not being awake, and they can only do that by putting in a body double for Hillary and then telling us the next day she's fine, she's on the tour. Wait a minute, it's not real. So as I said, they're just pushing the limit on everything, and who can say what's a true story and what's a not story? I don't own a television, so when it comes to the mainstream media, the only mainstream media I get is the Jimmy Cephalo show, talk show on I'll give him a plug, WIOD here in Miami, and Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity, and their news breaks. And it's like, I'm driving to work, and I'm seriously shaking my head. The thing is, Ken asked me, how crazy is the world out there? Well, the crazier it gets, the more I realize how sane I am. Let them let them do whatever they want. I'm just going to sit back and go, okay. It's entertaining. I got the best front row seat in the house, and I want to say I'm enjoying it. And that is until they make Hillary president. And I said, I've told a lot of people, I'm going to stop the world, lower rope, and get off. And that was my first impression, which is basically jumping out of a tree with a rope around my neck. And that kind of scared me. So many people know this old man, he's going out, he's packing his car, going to Colorado, and he's going to die a happy old high man. And that's
exactly. Yeah, I have to agree with you, Bill. I got to agree with you there. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Front row seats. Hey, I would not want to sit in any other seat than the seat I'm sitting in right now, doing exactly what I am doing. Man, I'm going to tell you what, it's like, yeah, the bad thing's on, but I'm telling you, I'm glad, and just like you guys, you and Scott, I know you guys are glad, everybody listening out there, that we on the right side. We know the righteousness of what we do. We know it. It's not like, we're a work in progress. Everything is a work in progress. But we at least are awake enough to really see what's going on out there. What do you think, Scott?
Oh, definitely. I mean, what an amazing time to be alive and witnessing all of this craziness. I mean, think about it. I mean, life would be pretty boring if nothing like this was going on. And I mean, it's sort of like, I don't know. It's like Rome is burning and we have a front row seat to it. Or it's kind of like that macabre curiosity you have when there's a car wreck and like something got mangled and there was like a big, something's on fire and you're going by on the highway and you're like, I got to take a look at it though. I mean, something happened. It's just,
right.
It's definitely
to be on the right side. Cause I know.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know that, we have chosen the right path to all this, and we're definitely trying to warn people that, hey, there's a wreck ahead. You might want to avoid that.
I gotta say, I still fight the conspiracy theory label. I am a conspiracy researcher. I am a conspiracy researcher because they are all conspiracies. And I never thought that I would ever be so proud as to be a tinfoil hat wearer, even though it's made out of aluminum.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's a badge of honor now. Anybody calls me a conspiracy theorist, I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Because you know what? I want to think, even on the conspiracy theory as a label, you're a conspiracy theorist. You know what that means? That means I'm thinking. I might not absolutely know, but I'm not going to, because of the actual conspiracies that have went on, that I have researched and that I have seen it declassified, even in their own words, government documents out there, those things that I'm going to question everything. And if you don't question everything, something is seriously wrong with you. I'm sorry, and I ain't trying to put myself higher than nobody, but if you sitting in that boat where everything that the mainstream media tells you and these politicians tell you, you take to the bank, oh, come on now. Even the watered down history books.
People just need to look up the whole, why the term conspiracy theorist is, coined as a label on people. I mean, that's a CIA.
Too much of that, man.
Yeah, that's a CIA, sort of a pejorative, to tag people that were questioning the Kennedy assassination, right? They were called conspiracy theorists, and it was thrown out there as a pejorative.
Somebody told me that it goes even further back than that. When I mentioned, when I thought that conspiracy theory, no. And they sent me a link to, if I'm not mistaken, it goes back to like the late 30s, but, I was going to say,
it was coined in the early 1900s around that time.
Yeah.
But they really kind of used it as a pejorative after the Kennedy assassination.
Oh, yeah. They dug it up. Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's just like what I try to keep myself, just as me personally, I try to keep my message pretty simple and plain. And it's there. There it is in your government documents. Y'all lie. Y'all created wars, Gulf of Tonkin. You look at the LBJs and McNamara tapes that I wish, oh man, how I wish and beg, please, that they would do now so we could have some kind of recorded thing. Because I would love to hear, Clinton's tapes and Bush tapes and all these other tapes, since, who was it? It was Carter. Carter was the president, the first president, didn't have the recorded phone calls, which I'm sure they do probably, somewhere. Somebody's got them anyway. But, just not having those records and we can see. This is what they did. And this thing hadn't been just happening here in this country. I mean, it's worldwide. It's called the elite sitting up, the proverbial elite, sitting up high on the mountain looking down on everybody else, going off at them, trying to control them, trying to take over the world. That is the New World Order concept. It's not a boys' club. It's not that. This is everybody's club. Everybody has their idea of a new world order, the way the world should be. And these elite cats sitting up there had the means to do it. Now, if you take all these mindless sheeple that believe every single thing, even though they have learned and known and seen and viewed in their entire lifetime the same thing that was going on, you know, they don't pick it up, you know. Uh-oh, hold up. Little Kenneth is in there hollering. But, you know, I think that it's so put out there for people to know, and it's like in this day and age, it seems like that we are so dumbed down, whether it be the water we drink, the stuff they spray on us, the food we eat. Maybe it's 20, 30, 40 years of eating Doritos. I don't know what it is. And I think it's us. It is a identifier. They want to know. They throw us crap. All CIA videos back in the day that went from video to audio tapes because it got so stupid, got so retarded that they stopped doing it. And I'm like, why? Because they have the means. They have Hollywood straight up means to have nothing but the best of the best and what they show you. But they show you crap. There is a post. I'm going to have to agree.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to have to agree with Bill on this one. I think what they're doing is they're like trying to push it to the edge and see how far they can go with it. Like just putting out the most absolute ridiculous things to see what the public will actually buy. And they're just gauging on basically how dumbed down the public actually is. And I think maybe once they reach a threshold where maybe some, people actually start questioning what's going on, then they'll back off maybe a little bit. But I think they do all this as a test just to see what the public actually will buy.
That's the reason I did the video to all Americans. I mean, the ultimate is the Hillary impersonator coming out of Webb Hubbell's daughter's apartment, basically dancing. No security. I mean, she's circled. She's got people holding her up, carrying her. They got a doctor with a EpiPen. Here this woman comes out. She's lovely now. And, somebody pointed out that she shakes the cop's hand. She hates cops. And then she breathes all over this little girl. I mean, that was the one that set me off to creating a live video of myself and ranting. It's like, are you serious? That was the ultimate. That was absolutely the ultimate for me. I mean, I've seen some stuff that they put out there that's foolish, but that did it for me. It was this morning when I hear, oh, Hillary's fine. She's now campaigning again. Are you really? Are you farging me? I like Johnny Dangerously.
She got that pneumonia shot. She was all cool in the gang out the cut. Nuh-uh, man. It's a funky monkey going on. And and there's a lot of things. And there's so many things. I remember, what was that? What was the shooting where they had the father come out? Because there's so many of those kind of things.
Sandy Hook, where the dad came out and was laughing.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you what. I'm sitting there, and I got 3 grandchildren, and I got 3 sons. I'm like, I'm sitting here and I watched that video, and I was like, this is real. Right here. This is no fake. Here's this guy now. I seen the afterwards video when he's on when the main thing has started recording him. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this dude's laughing. He gets into character. Then he goes into the microphone with his he's just sitting there laughing. He comes to the mic and now I don't care where you sit on. Think about conspiracies. Come on, man. There's something funky about that. There is absolutely something funky about it. And you cannot debate it. You can't say, oh, he was trying to make the bet. I mean, I can't. And that's what I do. And, what we do, we try to think, because it's a quest for truth here. And we're trying to think, what could make this man go from this? He lost his kid. He's coming up here. He's laughing and chucking. He gets to the mic. He gets into character. And you're like, oh, well,
I'll tell you what. If my child was just killed, I wouldn't even be wanting to talk on camera to begin with. Right? I mean, that's just weird. Why would you even want anybody around you like that, or be, hounded by the media, or be doing anything like that? I would totally not even want to deal with any of that. I would be really grieving at the loss of my child. And then you got, like, I think it was the Orlando shooting. You had one of the moms come up there, absolutely no emotion, and it was like the first thing she's talking about is gun control. And I'm like, really? Is that your first thought? And the whole Dallas thing, remember, it was multiple shooters at first, and then
there was one dude who was a National Guard dude. That's another one, Scott. That's a daggone another one.
Yeah, and they also said, remember, it was multiple shooters from elevated positions, and then you see the video come out, and the dude's down on the ground, on street level shooting. And somehow, this cat is miraculously. Now, I checked that on his training. That was the first thing I did. I was like, man, he kept this dude. He must be like one of these cats out there. He's SEAL Team 6 or something. He out there, he down on the ground taking people out. He up high sniping people. He rolling around the whole thing. And then you come find out, this dude was nothing. They said the best that they could do for his training was talking about at the house his neighbor seen him crawling out in the backyard with a gun. And I'm like, wait a minute, come on, I'm sorry. I don't have no Ivy League education, man, but I know a little bit about something, and that ain't it. That didn't happen, man. No way. That was some funky monkey stuff. And I'm sorry. And I don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at anybody who questions Hitler. Like, oh my God, something else that cooks my can, gentlemen. Okay, did we do it? Did we do the cook can? I'm sorry, but I got to. What cooks my can is you people questioning about Hillary's health. Do not do that. You clown of the week. You cook my can. I'm so sick of it. Oh my God. Do not. People sit there cuss you out because you want to question Hillary. Oh, that's some right-wing conspiracy. Something wrong with it. It's stupid. It's dumb. No, that guy didn't run around down there shooting up a bunch of people like he did. I'm sorry, guys, unless this guy, I don't know. I can't think of any scenario that this guy would be able to do that down in Dallas. No more than there's something wrong with people going like, this woman's sick. She coughing, she twitching, she convulsing. She don't know where she is half the time. Dang, she don't even look the same. Dang, she put on 60 pounds. Oh no, she lost 60 pounds. What in the world going? She looked 30 years younger. No, what in the world is happening? Because out here, we don't know. That's what cooked my can. So these people out there who think there's something wrong with questioning if this woman's sick. Oh my God, you question the daggone LCI, the video, the audio tapes, to the daggone Photoshop crap that they give us. Oh my goodness. And this is an identifier, people, I promise you, of where society is. We have to pay close attention because the stuff that they put out with that knee-jerk reaction that they want you to think that something happened. And if you look at it, you're like, you got a question like, huh? You scratch your head, huh? What? That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. What do you think, guys?
I think I had to mute my microphone because I don't ever remember laughing this much. Thank you, Ken. I swear. I had to mute, man, because nobody would have heard what you said. It's the simple stuff, like when Clinton, he's going to Vince Foster's funeral, man, and he's laughing it up until he sees the camera, and then he starts crying. It is the people's actions. And what really frosts my can is when I find out that they've got a fund for the Pulse shooting when they're still collecting money for Sandy Hook. And yes, that gentleman was laughing before he got to the microphone because he just kept seeing those zeros build up in his bank account. I mean, what else could you do? Ching is right. But yeah, thank you, Ken. I haven't laughed this hard. I don't know. I can't remember ever laughing this hard.
Oh man, it's good having you on the show, brother, man. Because I've known you for a while, but ain't got the chance. Me and Scott ain't got a chance to chat with you that like that, man. It's good having you on the show, no doubt, and getting your perspective, man. Because these churches always got some stuff going on all the time. We need everybody to be on radio. We need everybody out there doing memes. We need everybody who got a voice to put it out there, put this crap out there. Because I'm serious, because to me, and I keep thinking, dang, I'm getting older. Is that what it is? Or they expecting us to be stupider? Because I know it ain't word stupider, but, You feel me? You know? But yeah, seriously, they do. It's just like, I can't believe some of this stuff. And I'm like, man, 20, 30 years ago, I would have been like, what? Even then, when I didn't know crap about anything, I would have been like, oh my God, these people have lost their mind. Because it's so, and it shows me, I'm like, oh my God, people are out there, who don't know. People they're not interested in politics, which is boring, because I tell you what, guys, if it wasn't for all the stuff going on, I mean, really, I wouldn't be sitting there spending hours and hours going through declassified government documents. I wish there was a world that I live in. I have to do, and they throw this crap out there at you, and people actually believe it. It really does blow my mind how stupidly they're going along with it, because they have the resources to give us whatever they want to show us. They can make us believe, Jesus came back. They have the means and the technology to do that to people, and they've been researching it. That is the whole thing, the quest for truth. That, it's all about the knowledge that each one of us has. But we're getting ready to go to break. And when we get back, man, I'm telling you, it's insane. I love having Bill on this show, man. It's really cooking tonight. And when we get back, we're going to continue on with what cooks our can. We're going to go to Scotty and see what cooks his can, because I know he got plenty of stuff from this week, too. And then we'll go to Bill.
And welcome back to the Quest for Truth right here on Truth Frequency Radio, truthfrequencyradio.com. I'm your host, Scott Lopez, along with my co-host, the one and only Kenneth Webb, and our special guest. Oh, yeah. And our special guest, the man with the Photoshop plan, Bill Demarest. I don't know. I'm gonna have to second Ken on this. I think the whole Hillary Health thing totally cooks my can. I think it's so funny how just a week before they had her up on Jimmy Kimmel, popping open pickle jars to show that she's in excellent health, and then the next week she goes down. I mean, she just went down.
Pickle jars, man.
I know, I mean, the whole irony in that just It was kind of,
and then she failed.
Yeah, it was so nice to save her. I mean, it was so nice to save her that, because they drug her up on national TV to show how healthy she really was. Push that line, yeah, and then wham.
Like, she's got to open up a pickle jar. That doesn't prove any mental stability with whatever she got. They're making a. She's sitting there twitching and going zombie-fied on us. Really.
You see the irony of pickle? Once the cucumber's pickled, it never turns back to a cucumber. Plus, she was in a pickle. It's just, I crack up, because I have a subliminal what I do with my mind, which is what I'm going to share on the Kev Baker Show, and the Earth Code, and the Pentium processor I put in my mind. We'll get to that later.
When you gonna be on the Kev Baker Show, brother?
The 29th of this month, and I was on the show for a half hour last Wednesday. And as the show closed, he said that I would be on the show the 29th if it was okay with me, and we would talk about what I wanted to talk about. And after 41 years of doing what I've done with the Earth Code and downloading a program into my mind, I should release that video tonight, but I want to keep that for Kev's show. The connection between words and numbers, one word, one number. Choose a word. It doesn't matter what that word is. Every time that word has been used, I don't want to say every time that word's been used in my life, but any significant moment in my life that word comes up. It's a program I developed for the mind 41 years ago, and I wrote a book about it in 2005. I never did anything with it because I wasn't mature enough to handle what I knew, and it did keep driving me crazy. And at the present time, I'm capable of doing a video series on exactly what the Earth Code is and how to use it without driving yourself insane. But when I hear the word pickle and Hillary, oh yeah, That's about all I got to say about the pickle.
Yeah, and she's been doing it for a while, and people out there have been doing it for asking and questioning. But people, all of the top, all her little cabinet and all this little stuff want to come out there and get really cursified, cussing. You mother, about her questioning her daggone health. Hillary, watch out, man.
That's exactly
every time I hear somebody cough, I do, Bill. I do. Every time I hear somebody cough, I'm thinking, Hillary, there she go. And I can't help it. That's what we do.
I think we've done enough Hillary. I think we should move on. But yeah, Hillary consuming all of our every breath and every time we cough, we think Hillary. That burns my can. I think that's your expression. But yeah, I've had enough of Hillary and enough of Obama. And you talking about throwing stuff in our face. Come on, we still haven't convinced anybody that birth certificate is fake. I mean, come on, he's almost out of office, and we can't prove to the world that it was fake. I've had enough.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing about that is I never took a real stance on it. But if the file that they came out in Hawaii was layered like that, but you can pull it in, just as well as anybody does, Bill. You pull it in. If it's got layers, what in the world? And I'm sitting here thinking, just like those chopped up daggone Photoshop things and all these funky stories that they do out there that they feed to us. I'm sitting there thinking like, this is purposely done for us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because it's like, no, now you're making me, who is like, I don't care if he's from Mars, he sucks. I don't care where he's from, he sucks. I'm ready to say goodbye to this guy. I want somebody new up there that I can pounce on.
I heard that they were floating that maybe they were floating the idea of throwing Michelle up there
and Bernie.
No, no, Michelle
and Bernie.
Oh no! I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna be like all them people because the clowns of the week also for me this week is all of those turds out there talking about if this person moves, if this person wins the presidential election, I'm gonna move. And I'm sitting there thinking like, really, bye bye. Go on and move because I'm hoping for the other person every time. Whether they say if Hillary wins, I'm gonna move to the other country. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, good, I hope Hillary wins. And then they say, if Trump wins, I'm going to move over to Spain or something. I'm like, good, I hope Trump wins. I go back and forth I wish both of them could win, so send all them turds out there talking all of that bull crap. Because they playing a role, they want to be seen. And that's what I have a problem. If you want to go out there, you want to protest, you want to do something, know your business, and have some backing by you. These cats are sitting there thinking, any person wins, I'm going to move. It's like, you're not going anywhere. Sit down. I wish you would go, but you're not going to go. It's not going to happen. You're going to sit here and you're going to start running your mouth even more to give yourself more publicity because you on the same lines of them turds that you talking about. That's what's going on. What you think?
I am absolutely hoping that Barbara Streisand leaves if Hillary wins. But no, I am not leaving this. I am not leaving this country. I will die a proud American. I am not leaving this country. I have no desire to. Absolutely not.
And why should we? Why should we leave?
We got to stand and fight. We got to stand and fight.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what cooks my can. As I'm sitting here thinking, like, what? Nuh-uh. And I remember Republicans and Democrats alike have told me, if you don't like this country, well, leave it. And I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, my God, y'all just flipped the script, man. Don't let me break it down to you. Because really, you were standing by me like, when Bush was in office and I was calling him out. And you're going to call me out now. You're going to turn your back on me. You're sitting there screaming conspiracy when Bush was in office. All of a sudden, you're calling me conspiracy theorist and a tinfoil hat wearer. And like that it shames me somehow, and I'm going to sit down or something. No. I'm right on. Okay. It's you who are not on. And guess what? If Trump wins, You cats gonna be crawling across that fence again, coming over here screaming conspiracy with me once again, because we keep it real. We keep it real. We keep looking at what these people are doing. And don't put us in a black or white situation, because there's lots of shades of gray out there. There's so many shades of gray, and they want to put you in a black or white category, Republican, Democrat category. It's like, no.
There is more than one faction trying to own the world, even though the earth, because they actually do. You know, they started this way back when, before we ever crawled out of the cave, which is a lie. But there are the white hats, and there are people being protected. But yeah, they're fighting amongst themselves. I mean, it's not like one table. We know it's a mob, and they're feuding families. And I do see when they fight amongst each other, and kind of makes me happy. But I did want to say that I take absolutely no medications. I don't want to say I'm immune to everything, but eating dirt gave me immunity as a kid. It's the same thing with this. As awake and as aware as we are, these people cannot affect us any longer. They just can't get through our armor. And the people in the chat room, which I haven't been in the chat room because I've been concentrating on the mute button, because I did a really terrible job on Kev's show with the mute button. I kept turning off the microphone from the button on my headset, which did nothing. It really is. It really is a great show, because it produces people like you and Kev and Sean and Brooks. If people would wake up and enjoy and believe what we are saying, it's a lot more entertaining seeing what we know versus just eating their BS day in and day out. Gentleman at work came up with a great one, and I used it in my video. A PhD in BS. Piled high and deep BS.
Oh, totally, dude. Totally. And it is, once you wake up to like all the stuff and you see the game that they play and everything, I mean, you totally look at things in okay, I have satellite, so I can get all the mainstream media and all that stuff. And, when I watch it, I'm not watching it from the point of view of actually buying what they're telling me. I'm watching it to see what they're doing. What's the game that they're playing now? It's fun to watch them try and run around and play these little games and deceive everybody. And you can sit there and just call it out immediately, because the game plan that they're following, and you can see what they're trying to do. It is really fun to just do that. And sometimes I'll, and people are like, "Oh, you sitting there watching Fox News?" No, I don't watch Fox News because I'm like buying into what they say. I'll flip through all of them. I'll watch MSNBC and see what kind of line that they're trying to pull and what kind of games they're trying to pull. I'll flip over to CNN, see what angle they're trying to come from. And yeah, it definitely is. Once you wake up to all this stuff, you look at everything in a totally different light.
I love when people call me, "Oh, you must be a Republican." Well, then I tell them it's, two different wings of Satan, yada, yada, yada. But when they call me a Fox News watcher, that really frosts me. because that's what it's meant for, Bill. That's what it's meant for, Bill. That's what they do. And I tell you what, because, man, I've been on the flip of the script from it. And I went from the Bush era and to like, people couldn't, because I do a little spoken word, do some rap kind of stuff too also. In my repertoire of videos. And they would call me a wigger. They would call me a hippie. They would call me a tree hugger. They called me a communist. And all this stuff for the longest time, people would call me. And I'm sitting there going like, man, I'm a little bit of this and I'm a little bit of that. You got more labels than anybody I know. Anybody. You got more labels than anybody.
And I will go, Bill. And I'll go, I got a little hippie in me. I got a little ghetto in me. I got a little gangster in me. I got a little soldier in me. I got a little bit of a lot of things in me, and at that period, it was that. Me and Scott both. It's a quest for truth, man. Just like you, Bill. It's a quest for truth. We want to know the truth. And we ain't got no problem with dishing it out. No matter Republican, Democrat, alien, lizard, lizard. I don't care. Interdimensional cats. Y'all want to come down? I don't care who you is. We gonna put you in the wood chipper. We ain't got no problems with it. I'm gonna call you if it ain't fair and you lying. Hey man, that's what I'm gonna do. I got something to say about it, and I don't care. And it's got nothing to do with the party. Woo, the party. Think about that. The Republican Party. Woo. The Democrat Party. Woo. Party. Ain't no party going on. Bunch of lies. Look at them how they did. They even said, and I've seen this with Obama especially. They came out here because people start saying like, wow, here's all these lies this guy told. He said he was going to do this. He did the absolute opposite. I'm sitting there thinking like, yep, here you go. And people say, oh, they would just campaign promises. Like that changed the definition of a lie. It changed the definition of a lie, people. That's what I'm saying. No, it's a lie. You lied or you didn't lie. Ain't no little white lies we like to think when we tell people. We don't want to hurt people, so we say something positive. Oh, no. At the end of the day, it's a lie. Can't promise. So that makes a lie okay. Nuh-uh. Oh, my goodness. After all that stuff,
NDAA reauthorizing the Patriot Act, NSA spying, all that.
I've been biting at the bit because the greatest resource you can have to watch this, it's like the program at a football game, is Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. I watched the Democrats play that game, and it's just, well, it's such an old playbook, but I've been watching Trump, and he's using the same rules. He's smart enough to,
Bill, we're getting ready to go to the break. When we get back, we will continue this conversation. It's off the chain, man. Kenneth Webb, a.k.a. Change the Channel, along with my co-host, Scott Lopez, and our special guest, Bill Demers. We'll catch you on the other side. I tell you, Scott, I was sitting here thinking, I thought you was going to take it, and then I was like, oh, no. That's right, it's me. And I was like, oh, man, I just want to let Jimmy play on because he let you know, man.
Hey, listen, I'll take it anytime. I'll take it anytime you guys, want to step out.
Ooh, man, I'm telling you, it's off the chain out here in the world. And I'm telling you, Quest for Truth is all about a beacon. Let's all search for the quest of truth. Educate me, educate Scotty, educate Bill. Let us know. Let us know something that we don't know, or if we incorrect. Like me, I always want to know. I don't want to contribute to false information or anything. If it's a theory that we talk about, it's a theory. It's our theory. There's nothing wrong with theorizing. Jeez, and that's what we're gonna do here on the Quest for Truth. And I gotta ask the gentlemen on the panel, Bill and Scott, where do you see us going here in the next? In the next year, even. I mean, there's talks of war. I mean, we got, they're going Zika, ooga booga. We got the Zika out there here in the U.S., all around, up around Scott. Scott probably got it right now. We don't even know it. And it's all up there.
I personally, I think they're going to string us along for a good long time, because they're enjoying us as much as we're enjoying them. I really don't know, but I do know one thing. As being a prepper, I have my 40 cans of Campbell's soup. Oh, don't eat out of a can. Well, when the what do they call them? The gangs of people looking for food go up and down the street before they start eating people. I can eat my soup cold because it tastes good cold, and the people will not smell it and come and steal my Campbell's soup. Basically, what I'm getting at is, sure, if the hits the fan, I'm going to see. I want to be here to see it. I will decide when I've had enough, because I am not going to. I can't run anywhere. I'm going to stick it out for as long until those gangs come. Eat. I told my roommate, "Hey, Mike, when I die, I want you to eat me." That's not too funny. But
no, man, you got to do in that situation, and it depends. Prepping is not this extreme where everything goes to chaos, except for let's look where we live. Let's look in the locations we live and the natural disasters that happen. I think that prepping should always be done for just everyday life, not just the major stuff that could possibly happen. And we know how it could happen like that. I mean, from the electricity going out, something hacked, something false flag, something, anything from weather, whether it's the snowstorm or it's an ice storm of the century. We don't know what earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't know what's going to happen.
Prepping just used to be, what you just did. I mean, that was just part of a, normal life. You always had something, backed up. Look at all, like our great grandparents, people growing up during the Depression, or just, growing up, during the Wild West and stuff. You always had stuff set away for if times got hard, right? And then
like the saying, put it away for a rainy day. You don't know.
Speaking of rain, I live on the bullseye of hurricanes. So, as I said, I got 40 cans of Campbell soup, but I went 15 days without electricity, took cold showers. So I'm prepared to get through a tough time. But as I said, when the roving gangs, the word I was looking for, when the roving gangs are looking for food, I also am prepared if somebody comes to the door to take my gun. They will take me out. But I'm praying for a tsunami. It's quick. It's fast. I'm hanging out here on the east coast of Florida. So I think a tsunami is a prayer come true for me versus FEMA camp and anything else, any other nightmare you can imagine these people having planned for us. And you know what? One other thing. Guillotine isn't so bad. It really isn't. Been there, done that. Sounds strange, but it's true.
Yeah, like the FEMA camps. I've been into it on a 9/11 video I did. I debunked this from years ago, and I reposted it on YouTube. People come on there, want to sit there and talk about like all of these crazy things that really it wasn't any kind of logical debate about it. They just brought up like all of the storybook kinds of things, and I'm just like, man. Really, all of these things that go down, man, affect us all. It's like FEMA camps exist, internment camps, ICE camps, and always the one thing they always put in legislation and in bills that get passed is always what we deem necessary to use it for. You're sitting there like, that could be anything. That could be
exactly, and that's the thing. People automatically say, when they go, well, FEMA camps. Well, they're not all called FEMA camps. They're just whatever they set up for. Yeah, whatever they're set up for emergency, right? So if there's a natural disaster or anything along that lines, any sort of camp or facility that they set up for people to go to,
they exist. Stop saying they don't. It's like UFOs. Stop saying they don't exist. Chemtrails. Stop saying they don't exist, people. Really. I mean, you can't say that. You heard about that Ooga Gaga bill? Scott, you heard about Ooga Gaga? and people will sit there and go like, oh, that Ooga Gaga? Oh, man, shoot, I seen that stuff. I know all about that. And but for some reason, society makes people feel they gotta say something. They got to have, or they will feel stupid of some sort. And I'm saying you're not stupid. You're not stupid. You're not ignorant. There's nothing wrong with throwing your hands in the air and go, I don't know, but I would like to know. It's kind of interesting. Ooga gaga, shoot.
I would like you to know the first time I accepted FEMA camps, this is how far I've come along. First time I accepted FEMA camps as being real. A friend and I decided, hey, it can't be that bad. Look at all the camaraderie. Look at all the friendship. Look at all the togetherness. And thank God I came across TFR. And I would like to say right now, y'all are my family. As I said, I've been estranged from my family. And you all are a dream come true, and you have my heart, my soul, my respect, and my prayers. And just a little while before the show, I finally got around to writing a message to Chris and thanking him and opening the door for me. And from the bottom of my heart, no one man could love this network any more than myself. I haven't cried in so long because I can't feel sorry for myself anymore. and there's so much sorrow going on in the world. I can't cry for it. But the other day I was making a video, and I was making it for the people in TFR, and I can't say I bawled like a baby, but the first tears in a long time appeared in my eyes. It felt good, but I had work to do, so I manned up and I finished the job. And I just have to say that Alex Jones being the tip of the spear, no, he's one man who's sold out or sells stuff. TFR is the tip of the spear. And when Brooks Agnew mentioned the other night that we are in the top 70,000 visited networks on the web, that's quite an accomplishment when you consider how many there are. So from the bottom of my heart, hugs to everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, brother, it is. It's a beautiful thing. It really is such a beautiful thing. I mean, there's so many people. I love coming to the chat room. I'll come in the chat room in the middle of the day just, because of the people that hang out, I mean, you get your Flotsam and Jetsam in there as you imagine, from people coming out, but wonderful folks. And I always learn something. I'm always on TFR, just chatting on other people's shows and stuff. I mean, I learned so much from people. And it's things that I would never look up, because there's so many things out there.
Exactly.
I mean,
you get so many different perspectives, and people doing their own thing, and you get information from such, different angles. And it's really good because it's like you said, stuff that you wouldn't have even thought about looking into. You hear something on the network and you're like, oh, wow, I'm going to look into that now. It's such a, nice, diverse group of people on the network that, it really is something special.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. But Bill, while we got you on the last quarter of this segment, we got to go to the hat for the topics. We got to. Now, for the listeners out there that don't know, it's really a helmet now, but Bill's old school. Bill's old school. He know the hat. It used to be the hat where
Bill did a video saying I was going to be on the show, and Ken's got this segment called From the Hat. And I went to show my friend the helmet I made, and I realized, oh, what a boob. He calls it the helmet now. He is bowed to my will, and he's now calling it the hat. So let's get to the hat, Ken.
All right. Yeah. It's a good segment here. For people out there that don't know what it is, basically you take a bunch of topics, we put it in there, and you will hear it again tomorrow night. Don't forget, before I forget, which you can't, tomorrow is Freaky Friday. And Bill, man, you ought to come over there on Freaky Friday with us, man.
I will accept the invitation for sure. Oh my God!
Yeah. What do you think, Scotty? Come on, he got to come over on Freaky Friday with us and get freaky, because we talk politics all week, We talk politics all week.
And oh my God! I keep writing as the show's closing. How else could a ex-disco dancing hippie spend his Friday night but here in the chat room?
Man, so all right, so it's on tomorrow night. You with us, Bill? You gotta
try keeping me out, man. Try keeping me out.
Sweet.
Oh my God!
So what we gonna do? But for the people listening, we put the topics in the hat. Used to be the hat, now it's the helmet. We shake them around, and it's off the wall questions and topics. I mean, ain't no telling what our topic here: Bohemian Grove. Oh, sweet. Yeah, Bohemian Grove is the topic. And man, I gotta say, man, back from the day that, that I was hippieing it, man, and I was out on the Grateful Dead the last tour before Jerry died, and I was out there, and I heard later that they would go to the Bohemian Grove and they were in the hillbilly camp area, the bushes were in the hillbilly camp area, and the Grateful Dead members who would go there on the list that came out, they were there. And I was like, I was thinking MK Ultra, acid experiments. I was like, wow, man, that's crazy. Bohemian Grove.
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, I try not to think about it, to be truthful with you. It's let the demons play, and we know the perversity that goes on every second of every day with child slavery, and it's just let the demons play. First time I accepted it is like my attitude was let them do what they're gonna do. They'll pay for it later. I don't want to say, damn, you had to pull that out of the hat now, because it's a turnoff to me. It really is, even though we know what's going on. They do a lot of ooga booga.
Yeah. Ooga booga. A lot of ooga booga going on over there. But, the thing is about Bohemian Grove is it's one of these sort of secret meetings, right? Kind of like Bilderberg. You got a lot of powerful people from a lot of different places, coming together and discussing. And you can't tell me they're not discussing policy there, right? I mean, you got so many political players there.
And lie about it too. Under oath, under questioning, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We don't get treated like that. No way. We just step out of line in the least little bit, man. You gonna pay your fare. You gonna get taxed. You gonna go to jail. You are done.
Whoever said life was fair, because if it were fair, I'd be doing life.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing, Bill. That's that thing. You know who made up that damn rule? Excuse my language. You know who made up that rule? It's them damn tourists sitting up on the hill. Life ain't fair. Get used to it. Nuh-uh. Life could be fair, but guess what? It is not, and it's not our damn fault. It's their fault because they make it that way.
They've ruined it for everybody.
They cause poverty. They give you drugs. They give you crime. They beat you in the head. And anybody trying to follow the rules and be a good person, they definitely coming after you because that's the bigger issue. It's the bigger issue for these turds. It's been going on for thousands of years. In our watered down history, we can look at it plain and simple, black and white, right there. In our watered down history, this has been going on for thousands of years. The people sitting up there. I mean, remember them cats would go out on the pyramids and stuff, and they stand up there and go like, you know what? Y'all people ain't doing right. I'm going to make the sun go away. Because they knew the eclipse was going to happen. Right? Eclipse, come out there, go over the sun, and then they look down at them and say, y'all better kneel down right now, Jack. You better kneel down, and I'll bring the sun back for y'all if y'all just do it. Now sit on down, kneel.
Can you bring the hat back?
But it's true. It's true. That's how they do us. That's how they do us. There's no doubt about it. All right, we're going to go back to the hat. We got 1 minute and 43 seconds, guys. Hold up. Let me break it out. IRS. Got to go around. IRS sucks. I'm going to give my opinion on this right now. And that IRS, man, they full of it. It's a scam. They take your money. You got no choice. That's my point on it, guys. 1 minute and 20.
IRS. THIERS. Theirs. It's theirs. It's their money. It's their world. We got to pay to play. Hey,
yeah,
if you get
Scott. They suck. They're just the enforcement wing for the Federal Reserve. They'll come cracking your head and taking your money if you don't pay your taxes. Turds.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
if you get a phone call that says we've got your case number, the IRS case against you, hang up. They did that to me for like 3 weeks. They got my case number. The IRS is suing me on the phone. BS.
Yeah. Hey, Bill.
Yes.
You coming tomorrow night because y'all know what time it is tomorrow. You got to come out because it's a Friday. Man, it's been a great show with Scott Lopez, my co-host. Bill, them out here, man. And don't forget, he's coming out tomorrow night, guys. Hey.
Try stopping me.
Exactamundo. We'll catch y'all tomorrow, guys. Number love.
Good night. Love you all from the bottom of my heart.
Well, what intel do we have on this Mr. Purple Tie?
He's been a pest to many departments and a number of our alphabet divisions. Not quite sure what he is up to, but he seems pretty sure of himself.
Sources tell us Mr. Purple Tie and his YouTube consciousness might lower the count of those enslaved within the Matrix.